Hi, and may the 4th be with you. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I mean, if you cannot tell, but whatever. So today I'm going to give you my April wrap up and what I'm currently reading or what I'm hoping to read this month on May. At the very end of the videos, I'm just going to go ahead and dive into it. So this month I actually read I read officially 6 books, but I guess you could say I read 7 because I finished the 7th book on the 1st of May, like a couple hours after April finished. So yes, I actually read 7 books. I don't even care anymore. I read 7 books this month and that was a good reading month for me. The first book that I read, it was actually part of the Booksplosion read along that a lot of YouTubers, well, a lot of very well-known YouTubers, booktubers on here on YouTube are doing, and it was Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, which by the way was pretty awesome. At the very beginning it was kind of confusing, sort of speak, but it's actually a really fun book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. There was something in it that was missing for me, but altogether it was a really good book. I enjoyed it, and it was I think it's the first book in a series. I don't know when the other is gonna come out, but it's a really good start and I loved it. Everybody loved it. I mean, you guys should check it out. And yes, that's basically my review slash what I read. I don't even know what I'm gonna do anymore. Okay, the second book that I read is The Geography of Me and You by Jennifer is Smith. I think it's one of the first books that I read from her. The blurb really intrigued me, and I read this book like the next day that it came out. And I was not disappointed, but I mean, I liked it somehow, some parts of it, but it wasn't one of my favorites, to be honest. Like, I thought it was gonna be more, I don't know, interesting, I guess you could say. I don't know, like, it was just, the story was just kind of bleh for me, but it's a fun book. I mean, I still read it. It's actually, you read it very quickly. I think I finished it like a day and a half. So yeah, I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, but nonetheless, it was a fun read. The next book that I read is Love the Trigger by R.K. Lily. I'm sorry, I think I just butchered your name. But yeah, Love the Trigger, this is like the 3rd book of the Tristan and Danica series. It's a spin-off from the Up in the Air series, and I liked this book better than the second book because Rock Bottom was kind of like, I don't know, it was pretty intense, but this book was really awesome, mostly because we got to see like the different points of view of Tristan and Danica, like the gap years that it took. Holy shit, that's like a lot. And I don't know, I really enjoyed this one a lot. I actually finished this in a day. I couldn't put it down. I finished it, like I started and then finished it. Obviously there were little breaks, but I finished it and I couldn't be more happier. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. So yeah, the next book that I read is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. My friend Michaela, actually gonna put her channel right below. She's also a YouTuber, upcoming YouTuber. She recommended it to me, and one of my friends, Martha, she was reading it. So I decided to give it a go, and I was reading the blurb, which really didn't give me anything on what the book is about, and which was really mysterious kind of thing. So I went right to it and it was amazing. Okay, I couldn't stop reading it. The storylines, the magic, the visuals. Anyway, what I was saying, this book is amazing. Like, the visuals that you were getting, everything was just plain amazing. Like, I could actually picture myself in the circus. Everything was so phenomenal, and I really do recommend this book. So thank you, Michaela, for telling me to read this book. It was amazing. I gave it a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. The next book that I read is actually a 3rd book of a series. It's the Nova series. It's Nova and Quentin, No Regrets by Jessica Sorensen. I think you guys know that I've read about Jessica Sorensen's books in my other channel, or my previous videos there, and this was no different. I loved it. It was not one of my favorites, but I still loved it. It was basically like, well, like after what they did after they saved Quentin. Well, after they saved Quentin, and oh my god, it was so adorable. It was so inspiring, and it was just kind of like the struggle after all of the addiction, all the issues like they had before. So yeah, that's what it was about, and I really loved it. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. And yeah, you should guys check it out. Now, this book is kind of like a bound up of novellas. It's The Assassin's Play by Sarah J. Maas, which is part of the Throne of Glass series. I am in love with the series. I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out, which, by the way, the cover just revealed a few weeks ago. I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's beautiful. But yeah, I read this because a lot of people were like kind of raving about it. The Peruse Project was raving about it. I think Paul and Bananas Books was also raving about it, so I decided to read them. It was amazing. The novellas were amazing. It gave me more of a sense of where Selena was coming from, and she really became one of my favorite female heroines of all time, like almost apart with Rose Hathaway. And wow, it gave me a lot of feels because we already know what happened to a certain person, and it was really sad. And this just gives me hope for Kale and Selena. I'm sorry, I'm a Kale and Selena shipper, so yes, I'm excited. I gave this a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. The 7th book, I guess you could say, that I read is actually the 2nd book from a duology from the program by Susan Young, and you have no idea how much I've been waiting for this book. I actually did a book talk about it. I'm gonna link down below. I did a book talk about it, and this book, well, the series duology, it was amazing. I expected more from The Treatment. Oh, sorry, I don't think I mentioned the book. The name of the book is The Treatment by Susan Young, by the way. But I expected a little bit more from it, I guess you could say, but not really. I don't know. I actually don't know what I was expecting. I really liked it. I somehow felt like the story could have been more in depth, but nonetheless, I love the characters. I love the idea of the whole suicide being a disease, which is not really, well, it's not really a disease like in the real world, but it could be. I mean, it could happen if you think about it, but it's actually a pretty awesome book. I love the characters. The character Sloane really came through in this book, and she's awesome. The stories are awesome, though there was one character that was really bugging me. I mean, I still hate him. Like, it was really frustrating, but still, I loved the book. I loved everything. So yes, I think I give this a 4 out of stars on Goodreads. I think I already mentioned that. If not, then I mention it now. So the books that I'm reading right now, well, that was my April wrap up. But the books that I'm actually reading right now is Sweet Reckoning by Wendy Higgins. Higgins, I think it is Wendy Higgins. And this is the 3rd book of the Sweet trilogy, and I am excited to finish. I'm like 20% in right now, and I'm excited. I love Kai, I love Anna, I love everything about it right now. I'm just really scared what's gonna happen, because something's gonna happen and shit's gonna go down. So yeah, I don't know. And I'm also kind of rereading Obsidian by Jennifer Almentrout because Opposition's coming out in August, so I'm getting ready for that. I'm also excited to read the Selection, well, from the Selection series or trilogy, The One by Kira Cass, which is coming out next week, which I'm excited. Kinda, not really. I haven't really read the chapters that they are unlocking, because there's something that kind of like the Mortal Instruments for City of Heavenly Fire, if you don't know. But I'm not gonna read it because I actually want to wait for the book to release on Tuesday. And I'll talk about City of Heavenly Fire. I'm actually waiting for that book, and I'm not ready. Are you ready? Because I'm not. So yeah, I have a lot of books that I want to read this month, and yeah, like the Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, which is the Booksplosion choice of the month read along. So if you want to join, you just click below. So I'm going to be reading a lot. So I'm reading Sweet Reckoning by Wendy Higgins. I'm reading rereading Obsidian. I am reading The One by Kira Cass. I am reading City of Heavenly Fire, and I'm reading Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. A lot of books to read in so little time. So that was my April wrap up. Tell me what you read this month, what you're planning to read, what books are you excited to read this month. Anything, please like, favorite, share, whatever. Add me on my other social media networks, whatever, here down below. So yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.